the STEP campus. Hope you're doing great, and I hope your week is doing just fine. Today is Friday, and I guess we're coming up with the weekend, so pretty cool. I'm right here sitting right by a creek, so I hope you can hear me, but I wanted to talk to you guys today about my preparation for the Pacific Crest Trail hike coming up next year. What am I doing about it, and all the different aspects of preparing as a future through hiker. But we're gonna move to a different spot so you guys can hear me better. So here I am again, guys. Today, like I said, I wanted to go over how I'm planning and preparing myself at this point for my Pacific Crest Trail through hike next year. As a future through hiker, it can be very overwhelming, and there's a lot of emotions, anxiety, second guessing yourself. Do I really want to do this? And will everything go wrong and all that? And of course, many through hikers will tell you that you shouldn't be planning things to a T because things are not going to happen the way you want it. And I absolutely agree. It's true. Usually plans in life don't go as planned. So I call this more like a guideline. For myself, that way I can kind of estimate, especially logistics and budget, how things are gonna go. And if I am able to set up a budget, I want to be able to stick to it. So number one of my list is the permits. How am I planning to get my permit? First of all, I needed to come up with a date that I think I can start, and that has to do with work and family and everything else. But I am choosing to start anyway between mid-April all the way to the end of April, if I have to, beginning of May, depending on the availability that I'm going to be able to get my permit. So the PCT requests through hikers to have at least 3 permits, which is going to be the PCT permit, which allows me to go through the trail and camp anywhere in the vicinity of the Pacific Crest Trail. The second one is the campfire, I believe, permit, which does not really mean I can, have campfires, but it's more about educating people about the dangers of fire. And the third one, it's the one that I need to go to the Canada website and get a permit to get into Manning Park, and then come back to the United States. So it's an entrance permit through via PCT. So I believe the permits are going to be opening on November 14th, and they issue, I think, 35 permits per day. And then the other, because they're going to be issuing total of 50 permits per day, but 35 are going to start in November, and 15 are going to be done again in January. So that's my plan for my permits. So number 2 for my list, it's figuring out my hiking pace. I think it's very important for me to know my hiking pace and be honest about it, because it'll help me then estimate a little bit of the weather, estimate what kind of weather to expect throughout my PCT through hike. It'll help me budget, establish my budget, and it'll also help me, kind of figure out my gear, choose my gear and the temperature, the most appropriate temperature of sleeping bag that I should get. So the way I did it is just I made a list on a spreadsheet of all the spots that I'm gonna need to stop by to resupply, and those become my reference points. Between then all I have to do is calculate the distance between each town, let's say between Campo and Mount Laguna, and for example, that distance, let's say I think it's 70 miles, or I can't remember exactly, but you have to get that distance and divide by the how fast do you think you're going to be going. So I put myself that in the first 2 weeks I'm going to be going 10 miles a day, and that allows me to place myself on the PCT at certain months. So for the first 2 weeks, which is in April, I will be going through the first section, my section, which would be Campo through, I think, Warner Springs. And May, I would be getting to approximately to Big Bear. So by knowing approximately where I am going to be at a certain day, I can actually, you know, also estimate the weather. So number 3 for my list, it's weather planning. So as I was talking before, it's knowing my hiking pace on a spreadsheet. It will allow me also to go and research the weather. There are a couple good websites that will let you know the average annual high and low in temperature and precipitation. Those websites are, I believe, is AccuWeather and US Climate Data. Those two websites are the ones that I used, and oops, sorry. And what I did is just, if I know I'm gonna be in Big Bear on the first week of May, if I'm estimating to be in Big Bear on the first week of May, all I have to do is go to the website, let's say US Climate Data, and look at the high and lows for Big Bear in May. It's not perfect science, but it does give me a really good chance to kind of know what to expect, how hot or how cold Big Bear is in May. And that way it goes for every little place that I'm going to be stopping by to resupply. So number 4, again, choosing my hiking gear, my Thru-Hiking gear. My philosophy for this PCT, it's to go as light as possible, as light as I can within my budget. So I am aiming, sorry, there's a fly. I am aiming to 10 pounds. 10 pounds on my base weight. And my base, for those of you who don't know, base weight, it's everything in your backpack minus consumables, food, and water. Well, food and water could be consumable, but including consumables also include your fuel and also include medication, things that you use and they change weight. So I want to go as light as possible because I will try to avoid as much as I can injury. I know certain things are out of my control, but I will do whatever I can in my part to avoid it because I just need to finish at a certain time and I want to be able to enjoy this trip. I want to be able to make the best of it, make the most of it. Also for my gear, trying to be as light as possible. What I did is I concentrated on my big 4, trying to reduce the weight on those big items, which are my tent, my backpack, my sleeping bag, and my sleeping pad. Those were the ones that I concentrated the most at reducing weight. And keeping in mind that for everything else, for my cooking kit, always trying to choose the lightest type of material, not material, but piece that would actually help me achieve my goal. So number 5, it's nutrition, how I'm planning my nutrition, how am I planning to stay healthy, and my hygiene. How am I planning to, do my hygiene on the trail. For nutrition, I'm vegetarian, so it does become a little bit more tricky, but it's not impossible. I'm used to you know, always running around trying to find the right food for me. So I will be using a lot of grains, a lot of granolas, and a lot of uh, meatless food that could be dehydrated or easy to carry in a backpacking trip. I also will have vitamins with me and a protein powder the entire time. I want to have it because protein is exactly because I don't eat meat. I lack protein actually usually in my diet. So and that's an important nutrient to have if I want to be able to, you know, hike 15 to 20 miles a day. Vitamins is because the food becomes a little bit deficient when you're backpacking. So vitamins will supplement, especially iron and iodine, which are two very, and vitamin B's too, very important for whoever it's used as a vegetarian diet. One thing that I forgot about going back to the nutrition is that I intend to eat kind of like the same things for a stretch. That way it makes it easier for me to buy and to repackage and to just it's less stressful for me. And I'm kind of like that at home anyways. I eat the same thing all the time, so it's not really that different. It's not going to be that different on the trail. Also, my hygiene, what I want to do is I want to be able, I'm planning to do trail laundry as much as I can. So I will be constantly washing my underwear and my socks and my little towel, so you know I can keep it clean. Another thing that's important that I want to do, I want to be able to wipe myself every night, and I think it's important to avoid chafing, to avoid little skin infections, and to sleep better. So I want to make a point that every night I just, in between changing clothes into my base layers to go to sleep, I want to wipe myself down with some water and a little bit of Dr. Brown's soap. So number 6 is my resupply strategy. My resupply strategy is actually very simple. I'm just going to be buying my food off on the trail. I will not be mailing myself anything. I will be buying everything on the trail. And if I know that there is a hard spot coming up for resupply, I will just resupply the place before that place and send myself a box on trail. I am also planning to repackage all my food. So I will be actually getting rid of the original packaging and putting everything in Ziploc bags. So that way it's more compact, easier to package. Number 8 on my list, it's preparing for gear failures and injuries. And that's something that kind of happens quite often. I believe it's really important that I know how to repair my gear. Because first of all, I don't want to be spending money getting new gear. And it usually happens when you are away from any town or any place that you could replace it. So it's better to know how to repair. So sewing, learning how to sew rips or other things that can happen, like a backpack that can get ripped. Knowing how to sew my clothes if they get ripped, my socks so they can last a little longer, my shoes, you know, so they can last until the next stop. Same thing, knowing how to patch my air pad and keys that I get a hold on. And there's this, I don't think it's that common, but my tent poles, they could break, and it would be interesting to learn how to fix tent poles, so that way, you know, it's the way to make your gear last longer. And for injuries, I want to know how to, you know, take care of my blisters, take care of chafing, take care of cuts, insect bites, and God forbids a contusion or, you know, falling and getting hurt. So number nine, it's technology that I'm gonna be, you know, bringing on the trail. I am going to be using a few apps on my phone that work with the phone being offline. That's very important that your apps can work offline, and make sure you test it. The ones that I've been choosing is my gut hooks for my PCT navigation. I believe that's the most important one that we all through hikers can have. Also another one, it's my Amazon Prime Video. First of all, I already have Prime, and Amazon lets you download videos at a low data, so that way it doesn't use up much of your phone storage, and you can always delete it the next town that you're in and download a new video or something. Another apps that I'm gonna have available are audiobooks for listening to audio, are my Spotify for listening to music or podcasts, and I will also have my spreadsheet from Google available offline too, so that way I can modify and edit or whatever for my plans, you know, throughout the trail, and it's possible to make it offline, and I believe it's going to be very helpful. And last, the app that I'm going to be using for my phone for my video editing, which it's either going to be Power Director or KineMaster. So number 10, it's financial planning. How am I planning budgeting for my hike? I am anticipating to spend around between $2,800 and $3,000 according to my calculations, but it's very variable because it depends of, you know, if I am going to be eating in town and where I'm going to be eating in town. So in order to save money, when I get to town, I want to be eating really on fast food places and saving as much as I can, because I know that is where a good chunk of your money goes. And then when I get a room at a hotel, I am planning to share at least with one person. Also, I don't know if this will work, but I would like to experience having 0 days on trail. But also my financial at home. One good thing after I became a minimalist is that my finances are very easy to manage. I will probably just have to worry about my phone bill, my car insurance, and my life insurance, and a few subscriptions that I have, which I will set up as automatic payments. Most of them are already, so that'll make it that much easier. One last thing is that I will turn in the keys for my apartment. I will be homeless, literally, and I believe it's gonna be a good thing for me because I won't have a place to go, so that would be a good incentive to stay on trail and finish my through hike. On the days that I really want to give up, I probably won't have a second option, so that I believe can help me, and it will help me save that money from rent, you know, to go towards my expenses on trail. Number 11, it's the environment. How am I planning to take care of the environment while I'm through hiking? I think that's really important as a through hiker. So I have 4 things that I want to follow. The first one is just do not disturb any place that I go to camp. You know, just try not to disturb the vegetation. Try to find places that are already made for camping. Second is I will follow leave no trace, because I hear a lot that a lot of people don't follow leave no trace. That's not cool. I mean, we have to take care of nature, not only on the PCT but anywhere we go. Backpacking, day hiking, anywhere we step our feet into nature, we should always take care of it, always. And it's absolutely important to understand that. I intend to reuse my Ziploc bags as much as possible until they cannot be used anymore. And lastly, I just want to not use campfires at all. I'm not a person that uses campfires much, but I just don't want to do it at all. Campfires leave a scar, and it takes a long time for it to go away. So, not counting that it's dangerous. It's very dangerous, especially in California with all the wildfires. Number 12 for my list, it's my training preparation, physical training. What am I doing, or will I be doing? I am backpacking and hiking less than what I thought I was going to do this summer, mainly because of my school. I ended up deciding to do more classes so I can finish in September. September will be my last term. But I still want to backpack and hike all seasons, including winter, because I think it's very important to, I mean, day hiking is good for conditioning, but the best thing about backpacking is it's the only way to figure out your gear. It's the only way to figure out what works and what doesn't work for you, for me. So on the last month is when I'm going to be doing solo backpackings, which is going to be probably March or April. And second, I will be practicing, I want to be training to do 10 miles a day with 25 pounds on my back. Number 13, my family. My family, it's really important. I mean, of course, for anybody, but their support and their blessing, it's really important to me. So when I told my Mom, I'm going from Mexico to Canada, I'm gonna walk, and it's gonna take about between 5 and 6 months next year. But it's so important to me, and it would be really important to have your blessing on this decision. She said yes. She said, okay. Had I not said how important her blessing was to me, she probably would have jumped and said, no, are you crazy? You're gonna die. And you know how moms go. My middle daughter, Brianna, which lives with me, she is gonna be staying with her dad. And her dad is happy about it, and her brother. And they're gonna just spend those months together while I'm on trail. I hope they can come see me. I'm not sure. I doubt it, but if they do, I would love that. And it's okay. It's okay if I don't see them, because one of the things that I want to achieve with this, find with this hike, is just the confidence to be by myself. Confidence to learn how to enjoy being alone. I want to be able to conquer challenges and not be afraid. I want to be brave. And so many more things that I want to find and accomplish when I go through this Thru-Hike. And number 14 on my list, which is the last one, it's what will I be doing after my Thru-Hike. I'm already planning that because I believe it's important in order to avoid depression and, you know, after the Thru-Hike. I believe it's an experience that changes you to your core, so it's normal to come back and feel lost. But if you have a plan, if I have a plan for myself or what I'm going to be doing afterwards, that can keep me with my feet on the ground and understanding that there's a life after the Thru-Hike that I am definitely wanting to live. And my plan is just to come back and get an apartment again and just probably rest my body for a month, try to get another job, and continue to work in the school system because I love it, and just become a better person after that. So that's it, guys. I hope this can help. If you're a future Thru-Hiker too, I hope that this can help you a little bit, you know, as I'm sharing my struggles for preparing for the PCT. I hope that you can see that you're not alone. Everybody's that's planning to do this through hike. It struggles and, like I said, second guessing. So I hope it can also give you some ideas, for your own planning. Other than that, I just want to wish everybody a really beautiful end of July, and have a nice weekend or a week whenever you're watching this. I hope that your plans that you have to go outside, if you can, it's all about finding yourself or finding your healing in nature. So again, have a nice day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Alright, take care. Peace. Bye.